Well, several members of the New Jersey Athletic Conference recently visited Senator Cory Booker in Washington, D.C. as part of the NCAA's Congressional Engagement Initiative. Joining me now to talk about it is Kean University's athletic director, Kelly Williams, who was there. Kelly, how are you this morning?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for asking. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well, and thanks so much for coming on. So, Kelly, who was at this meeting, and what is the overall goal of this initiative?
Well, this was a very exciting time for the NJAC conference and obviously Kean University. We had Commissioner Terry Smalls in attendance, as well as President Lamont Repillette from Kean University, and then we also had the honor of also having several other athletic directors across the conference. Rob Cole from NJCU, Mark Griffin from Rutgers Newark, as well as um, Tony Birch from Stockton University. And then we also have my associate athletic director, Therese Doyle, who was one of the one female administrators that was there. And then we also had Michelle Sebring from from the NJAC conference, and obviously the stars of the show were our student athletes that were in attendance. And what we wanted to get across from this meeting was to make sure Senator Booker, as they put together this Bill of Rights and they're in the drafting process, understand the unique aspect that Division III brings to college sports. And what the first conversation that we discussed was that letting him know and letting everyone know in that meeting that Division III, we have over 400 universities and colleges. We have the most universities and colleges within any division. So although the draft is really geared initially to highlight some of the Division I areas, be it scholarships and NIL deals. We wanted to make sure that our voices were heard from a Division III point of view of some of our unique needs and areas that we needed to bring to the light as this draft is being built. And I thought we did an unbelievable job of presenting that to Senator Booker and his staff, just making sure that the Division III voice was heard from that draft component.
Now, Kelly, we know athletes have to be in top physical condition, but one of the topics discussed was the mental health of student athletes, which often gets overlooked. How tough can it be for college athletes to perform well knowing they need to live up to their scholarships or that so many people are watching and expecting them to do great things?
Well, right now it is probably the most challenging area to put our to really put our finger on in regards to being able to try to manage that experience with some of the challenges that are taking place from a mental health point of view. So I know from our level, from a Division III point of view, we see it all. We see it quite often. And part of our conversation in that meeting with Senator Booker as well was that there is a post-pandemic weight that a lot of our student athletes on Division I, II, and III are dealing with. They're finally starting to come out and be getting back to some level of normalcy, but that impact has played a role on how these student athletes are moving across each division. And as you just mentioned, the reality is that it is so much of a weight because now you have the transfer portal. If you're not performing well, you now may lose your scholarship. And prior to the pandemic, it wasn't that way. And then you also have the academic constraints that are taking place because for a lot of these students, while they were experiencing the pandemic, they were disconnected from the traditional way of teaching in the classroom. And a lot of these students are now getting back into the swing of not being exposed to the online courses. So it has caused a level of uncertainty, and that impact has really been, it's really been seen from a mental health component on so many levels because students are just trying to find themselves and trying to get back into a normal way of how things used to be. But unfortunately, it may not be that case moving forward. And that's why I was so impressed with some of the conversations that took place in that meeting to know that Senator Booker and the NCAA, that they are now making sure that mental health and getting the resources in universities and colleges is a priority. So I know we have a lot of work to do, but it is well documented that we need to continue to move forward and make sure that our student athletes have a safe place on so many levels.
Well, Matt Guidetti, who plays football at Kean University, was one of 3 student athletes to speak at this event. What were some of the points he brought up, and how proud were you to have him there representing your school?
Wow. I mean, listen, Matt did an unbelievable job, and to be an athletic director and to be able to see your student athlete speak in front of Senator Booker and to highlight some of the unique challenges that take place with the Division III student athlete. And those were the points that he discussed. Number one, that a lot of our student athletes work part-time jobs. That's the first thing. The second is that a lot of our student athletes are actually paying for their tuition to go to school to pursue the passion of the sport that they have loved since they were a little kid. And the third thing is that they're doing all of this, maybe without not having the same resources as the Division I or Division II counterparts. And ultimately, Matt put it in a very simple form to Senator Booker and everyone that was in that in that meeting, is that technically our Division III student athletes, we are the true student athletes because we're playing for the love of the game. There's no scholarship. So to be able to see how he was able to eloquently put that across, it just put a major smile on my face, and know that we're doing a great job at Kean University with our student athletes, and Matt is going to be a very successful young man moving forward.
Fantastic. Now, I have to ask, as part of this meeting, you presented Senator Booker with a Kean football jersey with the number 81, the same number he wore during his playing days at Stanford. How honored and excited was he to receive that gift?
Oh, he was extremely excited, honored. You didn't see the fact that we did try to offer him an NIL deal on the Division III, and we did check to see if he had any eligibility left, but that went past. So to be able to know that he had a Kean University jersey in hand, walking out, I think it also led to another level of connection to Division III that he will never forget. And for me, the smile on his face when that was presented to him just really made my day, and it really capped off the meeting.
Kelly Williams, the athletic director of Kean University, thanks for taking the time this morning, and thanks so much for being a part of this important cause.
Thank you. This was a great opportunity. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. It was our pleasure to have you on. Head over to ONNJ.com for the latest news and sports anytime.